What's up, beautiful people? Welcome back to another video. It's me, Michaela. If you guys are new to the channel, thank you so much for stopping by. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. And today I just wanted to come outside and just get some sun, be in nature. It's funny because when I was a kid, I wasn't really a big fan of being outside, but now that I've gotten older, I'm really enjoying being out in nature more and just being in the sun. So the weather has been really nice here in California, and I just want to take advantage of the beautiful sunshine that we have here. So today I wanted to actually talk to you guys about my yoga journey. I am so excited because I have officially been practicing yoga consistently for 1 year, and I'm just really excited and really proud of my journey. And a couple of people have asked me to kind of talk about why I love yoga, what is it that I've noticed has changed within me since doing it, and why I do it. And so I just wanted to make this video to share my yoga story with you guys, and to also give you all any tips on how to prepare for your first hot yoga class if you're interested, or if you've ever wanted to take a class, and give you guys some tips on how to prepare so that you can have a great class. So stay tuned. I got my water right here because it is hot out here and I am sweating, but we're not gonna let that stop us from making this video. So let's get right on into this. So how did I get started with yoga? I got introduced to yoga when I was probably like 7 or so. I want to say my first class that I took was up in San Francisco when my dad was living in the Bay Area, and I would visit him, you know, during the summer, and he was doing yoga. He's always been big on fitness, working out and stuff, so he would take yoga classes, and when I would come visit him, he would take me with him. And I remember as a kid, I used to hate going because the style that we do is Bikram, or people call it hot yoga as well, but you're doing yoga in a heated class, and so it's hot, you're sweating, and over the years, I've kind of had a history of like fainting a little. So I used to always hate going to yoga because I would feel like I was gonna pass out. It would be hot, I'm sweating, and it was just uncomfortable. And so, but he would take me and I would do the class. And when I was a kid, I wouldn't do the entire class. I would maybe do like half of a class or something like that. But just over the years, it was something that I consistently would do every now and then, mostly when I would be with my dad. Like I never went on my own when I was growing up. Then when I got to college, my senior year of college, right before I moved to LA, I decided that I wanted to start taking classes again, because I just noticed, even though I hated the heated room, I did notice that it helped with my flexibility, which was something that I needed at the time when I was dancing and pursuing dance heavily. So I did appreciate the class for that reason. So I started going a little bit before I moved to LA. Moved to LA, was going a little with my dad every now and then, but still not consistently. And so fast forward to about 1.5 years ago, I made the decision that I really wanted to start taking yoga more seriously and really making it a part of my life, because every time I took a class, I loved how I felt afterwards. I felt like, you know, the sweat was really good for me, was helping me detox. I knew that I was working on my flexibility and strength, but I wasn't going consistently enough, so I could never fully reap the benefits of the class, and I wasn't maintaining the progress. So I decided to start going consistently, and at first it was like I was going maybe 2 or 3 times a week. Some weeks it would only be like 1 time a week, but I was still making it an effort to go at least every week. The reason why I decided to start going more often was because I was noticing that when I would go like 3-4 times in a week, I was seeing improvement fast, and I was noticing that like I was maintaining the flexibility, I was maintaining the strength. And so then I would notice if I stopped going consistently, I would lose it, and I felt like I was having to start back over if I stopped going. So I was like, I'm not gonna stop, I'm gonna keep going. Even if I just have to go 1 time during that week, that's better than taking like 2 or 3 weeks off. So that's really how I got started. I had to shout out to my dad, because honestly, if it wasn't for him, I don't know if I would have ever taken a Bikram or hot yoga class. But I have to, you know, shout him out for that, because his consistency is what has honestly kept me going and has inspired me to continue to keep going. So thanks, Dad. Now that I've shared with you guys how I got into it, now I want to share with you guys how it has been benefiting me and things that I have noticed within myself that have changed since I've been going. So the first thing is, for obvious reasons, you're stretching. It's in a heated room, so you're sweating, but because you're sweating and because it's heated, it's also helping your muscles stretch better as well. And I've noticed by me going consistently, the flexibility that I have, I'm keeping it and I'm maintaining it. And so maybe if I don't stretch for like 2 days, I'm still flexible. Whereas before, if I didn't stretch for 1 day, it was as if I lost all the flexibility that I had just created. And so it has definitely been helping me with my flexibility, with my strength, with balancing. Also in the yoga that I do, we do several breathing exercises, and the class really focuses on your breath. You know, your breath is what gives you energy to do the postures, and I mean, essentially our breath is what gives us life. And so it's really important to be mindful of your breathing, being mindful of when you're taking deep breaths, when you're taking shallow breaths, and it's just made me a lot more conscious on my breathing on a day-to-day basis. Another thing that I feel has helped me is, I really do think that it has helped me with opening some of the chakras that I feel were kind of blocked off for a little while, specifically my heart chakra. I remember there's a specific pose in the class. It's called camel, and in this posture you are basically like this, you know, your whole chest is exposed. And I remember one time my dad was telling me, he was like, you're probably having a hard time doing it because your heart chakra is closed. And I never really thought of it from that perspective. And so over time, doing some inner work, but also continuing to go to the class consistently, that posture became a lot easier for me. And I definitely feel the correlation between my heart chakra opening and me being able to do that posture. And so I feel like the practice, not only does it help physically, but it also helps spiritually, because it's helping you with being okay with being vulnerable, and it's helping you with being okay with, you know, falling out of a pose and getting back in, and not feeling bad about yourself for messing up, but feeling proud for yourself for showing up in the first place and for continuing to come. And the mind-body connection that you have to have in the practice, it is very spiritual, because you're just focused on yourself in the class, and you're focused on your posture, your practice, what you can do, your breath, and just being present in that moment as you are doing something that's really good for your body. Another thing that I've noticed is my ego. I be having to check my ego in class a lot because sometimes I'm in class, and when you're doing the posture, you're wanting to look at somebody else and see like what they're doing, and then you'll find yourself comparing yourself to another person in class, but you can't do that. Everybody's practice is their own individual practice, and you just have to focus on yourself, and you have to keep your ego in check and not let your ego discourage you from continuing to show up, because maybe you're practicing with someone who is further advanced or further along than you. I've been doing this for a while, but I've been in classes with people who've been doing this practice for 30 years, you know? And so of course, somebody who's been doing it for 30 years, their practice is gonna look different than somebody who's only been doing it for a couple of months or a couple of weeks or even a year. And so just having that grace with myself, and also not allowing my ego to interfere with my practice. And then the last thing that I'll say that I feel has really benefited me since doing yoga is it has helped me become more mindful of my eating and my water intake. I feel like overall in my life, I've been pretty mindful of how I eat for the most part, but you know, your girl, she can eat, and I be having my cheat days and I can just throw down. But it has helped me to learn to kind of manage that and balance that a little bit more, because I will say that I have noticed whenever I eat poorly, it does affect how I perform in class, and it doesn't make me feel good. And so it's really just kind of, I don't want to say force me, but it's really just made me up my game with just being more intentional about how I'm eating, making sure that I'm drinking a lot of water, staying hydrated all the time, so that I can have a good class and not feel like I'm going to pass out and things like that. So that's been my yoga journey. You know, it's still ever growing and evolving. I'm not perfect by any means. You know, I have good classes and then I have classes where I feel like I didn't do my best, but you know, the point is to just keep showing up, and showing up each day, you're getting closer and closer to being better at the practice. So tips on getting through your first hot yoga class. So tip number one, hydration. Making sure that you are hydrating days leading up to the class and the day of the class, drinking a lot of water. If you like to make your smoothies, your juices, do all that stuff, but just making sure you're hydrated is so important because the class is heated and you're going to be sweating a lot, and so you just want to make sure that you're setting yourself up so that you don't pass out from dehydration, because that is definitely something that I used to struggle with for years, and it was something that kind of made me not want to do the practice. But once I learned what kind of helps me with staying hydrated and how much I need to drink and eat to feel hydrated, I was able to start having classes where I didn't feel like I was going to pass out. The second tip that I'll give you is to go in with an open mind. If you've never done hot yoga before, you know, it's going to be a new experience, but just going in with the open mind, going in with the mindset to just do the best that you can, and that's all that you can do. Like I said earlier, the fact that you showed up, that's enough. And so have grace with yourself. You know, if you're doing a posture and you fall out of it, get back in it. Typically with the style of yoga that I do, Bikram or hot yoga, we do each pose twice. And so the first time is about 60 seconds and then the second time is 30 seconds. So it gives you plenty of time to get back in the pose if you fall out, and that's okay. Also, if you feel like you're doing the postures and you're about to pass out, sit down. Don't feel like you have to stay standing up to prove a point to anyone. You have to take care of yourself outside of class, but also in class. And if that means sitting down, then that's what you have to do. And don't have any shame or don't feel bad about that. The next thing that I'll share with you guys is having lots of towels. Typically when I take class, I bring 2 towels with me, one for my face and then one for my body to put on my mat, because you're going to be dripping sweat. And so, you know, unless you have a yoga mat that, you know, is really good with absorbing sweat and all that stuff, you may want to just bring extra towels just so that you're not slipping when we're doing certain postures, and also in case you need to wipe your face or something, you have a towel there to do that. Bringing plenty of water to class with you, because you want to hydrate before, but you're also going to want to hydrate during class as well. So just being prepared, having, you know, a bag. I keep yoga mats in the car, I keep towels in the car, so I'm always prepared and ready. And just setting yourself up so that you can have a good practice. The next thing that I will say is to just have fun. You know, at the end of the day, yes, we're here to take the class seriously. It is a very disciplined class, so it can seem a little intimidating, but overall, we're here to work on our bodies, to work on our minds, to work on our spirits, and just the gift of life is just something to be joyful and excited about. So don't take the class so seriously where you're not able to enjoy it. Last tip that I'll say is it's a mental game as well. So having positive thoughts, going into the practice with an open mind, a positive mind, and just having love for yourself. The way that you go into anything is the experience that you're going to get out of it. So if you're automatically going into the class with a negative mindset, with the mindset that you're going to pass out, with the mindset that you're not going to do well, then yeah, that's probably going to be the experience that you have. But if you go into it with a positive perspective, knowing that you're going to give it your best and that you're going to do your best and you're going to love yourself through the process, then I think you'll enjoy the class a little bit more, and I think you'll benefit from it a lot more than if you had a negative perspective going in. So I hope that this video was helpful to you guys. Let me know down in the comments things that help you all get through your hot yoga classes. And yeah, I really hope that, you know, if you guys are interested in trying it out, that you do, because I think it's a beautiful practice. I know it's something that's not for everyone, so I'm not here to like push yoga on people, but it has been something that has been a big part of my life now, and it's something that I look forward to every day. So I love you guys, and I will see you all very soon.